Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Physique Development Podcast. Today, I am solo, and I'm going to be filling you all in on the 10 unexpected healthy habits that I wish I would have started sooner. These are not the habits that you would immediately run to when we talk about healthy habits of tracking your nutrition and exercising, sleeping well, so on and so forth. You should do those things. You should absolutely do those things. And if you've listened to any other episode of our podcast, you know that that is what we are encouraging. But today, I'm going to talk about the ones that I would say are unexpected, or maybe the ones that we go some time without even realizing how healthy of a habit it is that we've created. So the first habit that I want to bring to your attention is be a leader. And this may come across as something that it's like, what do you mean be a leader? I am an employee at work and I don't necessarily have a leadership role. What's the point of me being a leader? What I mean by this is be the leader of you. Have self-discipline. Maintain the promises that you are making to yourself on a day-to-day basis. Even the smallest promises require a lot of benefit for you, or create a lot of benefit for you. And this could be as simple as, if you say you're going to make your bed, make your bed. If you walk past that Amazon box for the 18th time and you keep saying, I'll open it later, open the damn box. Make sure that you are continuing to talk to yourself in a way that you are upholding your side of the bargain. Because in the opposite direction of not upholding these micro promises, you're continuing to show yourself that you're unreliable. And that unreliability is going to show itself in much more important phases of your life, whether that be work or that be personal relationships. And so looking from a lens of being a leader of your own life, putting yourself in a position to succeed in even the smallest task of making your bed is going to be a great habit for you to maintain. And I would like to say with all of these habits, this is not me coming from a place of perfection. This is in part to me talking to myself. Some of these things I do better than others, but some of these I'm looking at of going into this new year of 2025, I'm going to be better about these specific things. And being a leader is one that I'm really having a lot of focus on going into the new year. Number 2. I think this is huge. And this is something that when I was in college, when I was early in my marriage with Sue and living in our tiny apartment, I wish I would have done a better job of this, is creating a productive environment, creating my productive environment. And what I mean by that is when we are trying to be productive within our work, and a lot of us work from home now, it's important to have a conducive environment. I talk to so many of my clients who work from home, and they are sometimes working at the kitchen counter. They're sometimes working in their living room. They're sometimes working in their bedroom. They're working in all different spaces within their home, and they're wondering why it's so hard for them to focus. We as humans have a lot of association with the environment that we're in. And if we are trying to work in the same environment as we try to relax in, as we try to spend time with family and friends and so on, it's going to be hard for our association to have a singular focus when we're trying to be the most productive. And so the environment that we create is tremendously important. And also understanding, do you like to work in an environment that is maybe more quiet, or do you like to have a little bit of background noise? For myself, I am big on just having a little bit of background music or a podcast playing in the background that they're a little bit more monotone. Helps me a lot within my focus, where if Sue is sitting here, she would be shaking her head of like, I have to have it silent for me to be able to focus fully. And so creating that productive environment for yourself will help tenfold with all the things that you have going on a day-to-day basis. Number 3 is spending a little bit extra on quality things. Now, if you are a listener of this podcast regularly, you know that I am huge on quality things. I find it to be a tremendous benefit to spend a little bit of extra money on quality products and things that are going to have greater longevity and use over time than buying a cheaper product that's going to have to be either replaced or buying another product in tandem to it just to have the benefit that you could have gotten with the greater product of spending that little bit of extra money on it. So I find this to be beneficial, especially with clothes, where as Americans, I find that we are often in the cycle of fashion and so on, getting more and more clothes. And when we have Amazon available to us, we can just buy cheaper clothes very regularly, buying a new dress, buying a new shirt, buying new pants, so on and so forth. And I think it is a better option to be able to spend that little bit of extra money to have overall better quality, and likely having less stuff in your closet, making it easier for you to make decisions when you're getting dressed for the morning or getting ready for the gym or whatever the case is. If we have less things to choose from of things that we really like, because if you're going to spend more money, you're going to know for certain if you like it. And if you spend less money, it's going to be like, I didn't spend that much money on it. I'll just go ahead and buy another one, right? Again, I'm coming from a place that I am not perfect. I also struggle with some of these things, and this is one of them. It's really going to be helpful for you in terms of not only clothes, but all other facets. You could talk about computers and devices and so on. The thing that's going to have greater longevity use for you and taking care of it and having a little bit more value to you. Maybe it was a little bit more painful to purchase the specific thing. You're likely to take better care of that specific thing as well. And I think there's a lot of value there.
Low reps is best.
High reps is best.
Fruit is so
it's
good.
Terrible for you.
You should lift heavy.
High reps,
carbs
low
are
weight.
needed.
Keto
Squats
for
are bad for your
Squats
knees.
are great.
You
for your
should squat ass to
knees over
grass.
toes.
It's fine. It fits my macros.
Is for idiots.
When there are so many mixed messages going around, it's hard to know what you should even do or focus on. But that's exactly where Physique Development one-on-one coaching comes in. You might have heard of online coaching or even hired a coach before, but we believe in teaching you the why behind what we do while truly taking your life into consideration. We want to train, educate, and empower you to reach your goals and help you to stop spinning your wheels and just finally feel good. And hey, we're here to help you look good too. You need you. Your health is your wealth. So join Physique Development and let us be the last coach you ever need.
Number 4 is work on saying no. Work on saying no. This is an interesting one, as I am someone who has been on the side of say yes to these opportunities, take the opportunity, push yourself, stay up a little bit later and do the things with your friends and so on. But as I've gotten older and started to realize that you need to be able to show up for yourself first before you start to show up for other people. And to do that, you're going to have to say no to some of the different things that are presented to you, whether that's going out to dinner after a really long week for yourself. It may not be the best thing for you to go out and have drinks with your friends and stay out later. It may be better for you to stay home and to relax and recharge your batteries. And maybe you go out and see them the following day after you've gotten some good rest after the long week. That may be a scenario for you. Or it may be something where you have been sick and you're wanting to get into the gym and your friends are asking you to go. And it's like, I have to stay home and continue to rest. Those instances are going to be important for you to be able to stand up for yourself and not just putting everyone before you and saying, well, because my friends want to do these things, I've got to do it. And really putting yourself first in those scenarios. Much easier said than done, but I think it's a very valuable tool. Number 5 is near and dear to my heart. This one is call your parents. I, unfortunately, lost my father-in-law a year ago, almost to the day. I was very fortunate to spend a lot of time with him the year, or really the last 2 years prior to him passing. And I'm very, very grateful that I got that amount of time with him. But since his passing, I have put a unbelievable emphasis on calling my parents every day. My parents live 6 hours away from us. I'm very grateful to still have Sue's mom living near us, but I make a big emphasis on just calling my parents every day, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. makes their day. It makes me feel good just to be able to hear their voice, be able to talk to them, and cherishing the little bit of time that I have with them. I got my mom a new phone so she can FaceTime me. She doesn't love the FaceTime as much because she'll see herself. She's like, I don't like how I look. And then she turns off her camera, but at least she gets to see me. So call your freaking parents. Number 6, busy does not equal productive. Ooh, this one is a challenge. And why I bring this one up is that it's very easy for all of us to be busy, but is the work that we are doing productive towards the goals that we have, the things that we are working towards? And I would say that many of you listening may be able to say that, this is not really contributing to me getting towards my goal in a productive manner. And I don't think that we have to be productive 24 hours out of our day, but I do find that wasting our time with just simply being busy is something we want to try and avoid. And I can use an example for myself here where I know how much time I can really invest into working with my clients directly, reading their data collection, giving them feedback, analyzing photos, looking at training videos. I understand how much time I can really commit to that with the fullest attention. There is a time where that drops off. And if I'm just to continue working and not being at my best productivity, one, I'm doing a disservice to them. But after that, I'm really just remaining busy. And that's not a good use of my time. I could pivot into something that's a little bit more useful of my time where I can invest more fully. And so you'll be able to identify those things in your life where you can see a little bit of a drop off in your focus. And it's like, okay, now I have an understanding that I can only do this specific task 1, 2, 3, 4 hours out of my day. And I need to understand that when looking at the total of my calendar and dispersing the workload over the entirety of the week. Keep those things in mind and try to avoid just simply being busy. Another example that comes to mind for me is that if I am to be on my computer working on something, I can create a busy environment of I'm doing something on my computer, I'm also doing something on my phone, and then my mind is somewhere else as well. And so I'm not really being productive with any of the 3 things. I'm just simply being busy, and I'm kind of making myself more overwhelmed because I'm trying to do too many things at once. And so trying to focus on a singular task, I think is a tremendous benefit. Number, is it 7? Yeah, 7. Be present with your friends. This is a huge one. Oh my gosh. So as we continue to get older, your friends will have children. You'll have children. You will be married, so on and so forth. Everyone is tremendously busy with the things that are on their plate, and their time becomes more and more precious with the availability to spend time together. And it breaks my heart when I see friends out to dinner and all of them are just scrolling their phone. Like, I just want to rip their phone out of their hand immediately. And I get frustrated with this in my own setting when I look up from my phone and then all of my friends are also on their phone. It drives me insane. And so the more that we can be planted with where our feet are at, especially when we're with people that we love, our friends who we may not get to see all the time, it is so healthy for us because it is such a recharging feeling to be able to laugh until you cry and to just be so present, and your mind being so present in the conversation that you're in that moment, to be able to give hugs and being just, again, so present is so beneficial to our mental health. And I would say, since the pandemic, this is something that a lot of us have struggled to maybe get back into after being distanced from everyone with the circumstances. And so really investing that time and not turning down these situations where your friends want to do things after I just said, get better at saying no. I know, I get it. Both of them can be true, but really be present with your friends. Number 8, progress, not perfection. Oh, this is the one that I am attacking myself so abundantly. I fell into the headspace of remaining perfect or striving for perfection for a large portion of my life, and I still struggle with it to this day. Perfection does not exist, but you can still strive for it. I think that there is value in striving for it, but understanding that you're going to likely fall short, and that's okay. I believe that progress is what we're all striving for on a day-to-day basis, whether it be within your body composition, it be within your work, it be within your relationships. You're wanting to make the 1% to 3% improvement every single day and taking steps to get into a better position, to get one step closer to the goal that you have, and looking at it in that lens. When I'm working with my clients from a body composition or nutritional perspective, you have to understand that nutrition is forever. You're always going to need to fuel your body for as long as you're breathing on this earth. And so one poor day of eating, in the grand scheme of things, as you continue to zoom out over the week's time, over the month's time, over the year's time, is a very, very small blimp on the radar. And we have to understand what we're doing more cumulatively is the largest impact that we're going to have on our health. And so again, focusing on progress is much greater than focusing on perfection. Because if you focus on the progress, and if you have one poor day of consuming food, we can get right back on the game plan the following day. And then when we do zoom out and you have more consistency following and you focus on that progress, it's not going to make any difference to your body composition. So keep that in mind as you're striving for really anything, but progress is far more important than perfection. Are you sick and tired of your glutes not growing, turning around in the mirror and seeing a board for a booty? I've been coaching for nearly a decade, helping thousands of women reach their goals. The most common goal: grow my glutes. Women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s able to grow their glutes with the guidance of my training programs. And for all this time, I've kept my best glute growth secrets only for my one-on-one clients. And that changes today. We just released our 12-week glute growth program in the PD training app. It is a 4-day program with exercise and volume adjustments every 3 weeks. You can easily access the program through our app and track every single workout. Each exercise will have a detailed video teaching you exactly how to perform each and every movement. And guess what? I am no longer gatekeeping. I'm sharing every single one of my best glute growth secrets inside this program because you are awesome and I want you to have this program. I'm going to give you $25 off, making it a fraction of what you spent at Starbucks this past month. Use code POD. The link to purchase will be in the description. Now let's get back to the show. Number 9, think about exercise like brushing your teeth. This is focused on the simple habit of exercise. Again, exercise is going to be paramount for you for the remainder of your life. It's not a matter of, well, I have to work out 5 or 6 days a week. I truthfully believe that the only reason that people fail within fitness, and I hate using the word fail here because you can't fail at fitness. It's forever. So we have to make progress. You're just not doing well right now. We need to move towards something that works better for you. But if we look at it from a lens of like brushing our teeth, it's a habit that we do on a day-to-day basis. We're going to get exercise in some way or fashion. We have to find something that works for you. It doesn't have to be this heavy resistance training if that's not what you enjoy. If going to a Orange Theory class or Barry boot camp or what have you, if that's what you enjoy right now for this current chapter of your life, amazing. Do it. Go to the classes and have a ball. Is that going to be the best thing for maybe your body composition goals of building muscle or maybe your hormonal function if you're not taking great care of your nutrition? It's probably not best for those things, but for this current chapter, if it puts you in a place of getting exercise and burning calories and taking care of yourself, we can worry about those things later. We want to sustain the habit now. That's the thought process that I want you to take to this. Maybe it's not even a matter of resistance training right now, and you just want to get outside and go on hikes and maybe go biking and do those different activities. That's okay. That may be what's best for you in this current chapter. And understanding that whatever you choose for exercise at this current moment is not a life sentence that you have to do it for the rest of time. Simply, what is going to get you moving? What is going to get you sweating? What's going to make you happy? What's going to have you feeling your best? And chase after that. Treat it as if you were brushing your teeth. Number 10, create staple breakfast and lunch meals. This continues to be more and more important as I get older because the morning and the afternoon continue to be some of the most busy periods of my day. And if I did not have the staple meals for breakfast and lunch, I would find myself in a pretty challenging position where I'd be wasting time trying to contemplate what in the world am I going to eat today? And I don't have a whole lot of time to contemplate. I've got to get back to my desk. I've got to get my workouts in. I've got to do all these different things. And by having these staple meals, I do not have to think a whole lot about it. I go in, I make the meal, I eat the meal, and I'm done, right? And so the more that we can have these things prepared, the more that we can have these things that we can depend on in times of needing to move quickly, the better off that we're going to be. And what I often see within my clients who do not have these staple meals in their mind or in their protocols is that they're much more likely to skip the meal. They are much more likely to overconsume within the meal and then have themselves in a rough spot for later meals that follow of like, crud, I did not mean to eat that many fats with breakfast, or I didn't mean to eat that many grams of carbs with my breakfast. I was trying to scramble and it was all that I had, and so on. And so the more that we can have those staples, the better your health, the better your mentality, the better your energy, the better your digestion, all these things, huge benefit. I know I said 10, but I've got 2 bonuses here for you. So number 11 is get the fuck outside. Stop staying inside. And this is speaking to myself again, where in Ohio right now, it is horrible. It is gloomy, cold, rainy. I don't want to go outside. It's not fun looking at all. So sitting inside feels far more comfortable. I am in the comfort and warmth of my home. And the biggest villain, I don't want to say villain, but my biggest competition this time of year in the winter months is the couch. Like you're just constantly fighting against the couch and the comfort of what that cozy thing brings. And I think getting outside, getting into sunlight when it's nicer outside is very helpful for your mental health. It's nice to get fresh air. And this is just a massive encouragement to you and myself. Number 12, and I guess the second bonus, is walk outside after your meals. This is so helpful from a digestive perspective. And often when I bring this up to clients, they find this thought process that it's this has to be this big thing. And this walk after your meals can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And really the overarching goal is to make it tremendously leisurely, making sure that you are keeping your heart rate down. And this is going to help with your digestion and allow your body to digest the food at a better overall rate. Because I am sure that you listening to this can think of a time after you have a decent sized meal and you go right back to sitting down, maybe at your desk or wherever, and you are really struggling to focus. You're feeling like your energy has dropped off after having that meal. Maybe it was super carb dense. Maybe you ate it too fast, whatever the case is. And by having this walk after the meal is a really nice buffer for you to maintain overall energy levels and get back into the thing that you're trying to do following the meal itself. And so taking these 5 to 10 minute walks after your meals will pay huge dividends to your overall health, mental well-being, and your digestion, certainly. That is the conclusion of my 10 plus 2 unexpected healthy habits that I wish I would have started sooner. If you have some that maybe you would recommend to me, I would love to hear them. You can put them in a comment form in the show notes. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, put them in that show notes, or there's a link in the show notes as well for you there. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, share this with a friend, and I will see you in the next episode.